on the motion today. So let me revisit the meaning of green farming. So green farming includes techniques that protect the planet and its inhabitants. And these techniques can neither be expensive or cheap at the same time. There are plenty of techniques that we can use. So here are some of my rebuttals. So the first speaker says that the other team says that there will be a burden for farmers because most of the time these are very expensive. But there are a few techniques that is not expensive at all, like water farming. So water farming is basically you put the seeds in a tube, like a real long tube with water in it, and there's a hole for it to grow up. So basically you only need some tubes and water, a bit of nutrients, and that you need to do to have green farming. And with this technique, we can grow a massive amount of plants for all of our population. Like we only need like a quarter of the land we would normally need for traditional farming, and it has a lot of benefits for health and many other reasons. So the second speaker also says that it is labor intensive and how chemicals won't get into food as much, but the thing, yes?
As you said that using almost just needs a quarter of the traditional ways, like as you mentioned, the traditional ways we are using as a conventional farming using the chemicals. So they have used like ways to make from 2 harvesting seasons into 4 or even more. So can you ensure that which it can still touch the food needs for the world population?
Yes, of course it can, because we can grow more in a limited space, like this space. Normally the field can only grow so much, but with our techniques of farming, we can grow double that or even triple that. So even with reduced the amounts of harvest per year, maybe 20% or 50%, we will still meet the demands of the population. So next is you said that it was labor intensive and chemicals don't get into the food. So actually green farming is not as labor intensive actually because you have the techniques and you have the machines for it. Sometimes you need a machine, but most of the time you don't. Like the tube part, you just need to pour water in it, so it's quite not really labor intensive at all. So the other thing you said is chemical won't get into the food. Yes, it won't get into the food, but it can leak into the ground. If it leaks into the ground, there will be a huge amount of problems, especially when you have to think about how it will react with natural elements. So here are some of my team case. My first speaker says that it will promote improvement by reducing pesticides and fertilizers. We will reduce the amount of chemicals being leaked to the ground, which will lead to less water pollution, and thus we can keep the ground more fertile for future farming. So a next thing she says is that this can enhance climate resilience. So why is this? Well, if we adopt green farming, then many things will happen thanks to that. Firstly, we can grow back forests. Traditional farming and conventional farming has destroyed a huge amount of forests in the past few years, and now deforestation is a huge problem with the planet and the climate change. So another fact here is that it will lower a huge amount of water pollution and deforestation because the chemical leaks into the ground, it can leak into the river, which pollute the water, and then it will lead to a lot of problems when the river flow downstream, which leads to community drinking that water and having chemicals in their bodies. Yeah. So basically, like I've said before, there are many techniques that we can use for green farming. So thanks to that and all of the benefits, as my first speaker has stated, we have more benefits than disadvantages overall. And my second speaker also said that there is economic stability. So basically, with now we can grow more, and the price of organic farming is getting cheaper and cheaper, and the food we produce is also getting cheaper, means it's more affordable for many people. That means that no matter what, there is still a reasonable price for everybody, even low-income workers. As cheaper, the food prices also become cheaper, and the farmers start to gain a huge amount of income, which lower the burden on farmers because, well, they grow more food and more people buy their food because they like organic food and they can afford it because it's getting cheaper, right? Thus, farmers earn more for their workings. So, let's come to our conclusions. So, when our planet is facing a huge crisis, we must think about what is best for our planet. And remember, if we don't do anything now, then when will anything be done? People says that there isn't only one reason to pollution and to climate change, but truly, if you think about it, the farming techniques we use actually adapt for a huge percent of all of the pollution worldwide. And traditional and conventional farming also contributed to deforestation, soil degradation, and water pollution. And because of that, it elaborates the results of climate change, which makes everything worse. So by adopting green farming, there will be a lot of benefits to gain and minimum the amount of disadvantages we will have in the long run. And we must consider our future as well as our children and grandchildren's future. If we think about this, isn't it worth to think about? Green farming is definitely something that we should consider in our lives and should consider in today's economy as well. So with all of that, I hope all of you will be on our side on this argument today because it is truly and highly ethical with all of my reasons. Thank you for listening.
Alright, thank you, Darcy.